how I got into filmmaking was really just by chance. I come from a family who loved to watch films, and we would go, the 20 of us, to a cinema and like pack it all out.
I've always had a passion for telling stories, and it kind of started first of all with photography. Actually, I started taking pictures at like little events.
How did I get into filmmaking? That is such a good question.
Started probably when I was about 19 with a friend of mine called Lawrence Coke, and it was just like a few friends of us and got together, and we were making like a, what can you call it, a contemporary version of Romeo and Juliet. It was called MC,
and I kind of enjoyed that feeling, and I wanted to really be behind the process and give that feeling to other people like I did as a kid.
Originally, I worked in the music industry as a producer, and I had a short journey in the corporate world and tried to deny my creative ambitions, and then realized that I'm a creative at heart.
Growing up, I always loved watching documentaries that were about investigative journalism, that were kind of taking you from one place to the other. I think escapism has always been a big thing for me, and as a creative, I really wanted to be able to actually be paid by a craft where I was telling stories that I thought could resonate with the world. And as it kind of stands, I sort of looked on Twitter, I saw that BBC Academy had an event in Birmingham at Mailbox at the time, and I literally just went to it, and I met a production manager there, pitched her an idea. She was like, "You should apply for our apprenticeship scheme." And I was like, I don't know. And I did it, and I got in, and from then I've never looked back. I think if you want to make films, find someone with a camera or get a camera yourself and just go and shoot it. That's what I would say.
There is definitely not enough opportunities for Black filmmakers at the moment, but it is improving.
I don't think there's enough opportunities for people that don't come from a certain class that can afford the freelance lifestyle, the not knowing what's going on with you coming from a job to the next. I think the nature of our industry is very much freelance. You go from contract to contract. And I think if you're a working class person like myself, that can be quite challenging at times. So I think that there needs to be more to be done in terms of just the socioeconomics of it. I think the race politics is a whole other thing.
There aren't enough opportunities for Black filmmakers in the UK, which is why a scheme like Fresh Cuts is important, because it's given 5 first-time filmmakers the opportunity to make something, to make a 1 hour for ITV.
I feel like in the recent years there's been more opportunities, and I feel like it's still got a way to go. But with schemes like these ones, it's perfect to tell more stories that are authentic, I would say.
There's basically more and more filmmakers that are bringing in new stories and new narratives and just a new fresh look on the industry as a whole. So yeah, there is more, but there's definitely always room for improvement.
I think a lot of conversation needs to be about the support around those opportunities. Opportunities alone, I don't think are enough. So when there are those opportunities, that's fantastic. But I think it's really important that it's supported by the resources, especially for emerging filmmakers, to help them get to that next level.
Who's inspired me? My mum's really has inspired me to just work hard and always push the boundaries, or the boundaries that are set for you.
The people who've inspired me the most have been my parents, really, just seeing their own personal journey, and they serve as an inspiration and as a model.
It's like Steve McQueen, and it's more kind of scripted filmmakers than anything, I'd say.
Michaela Cole, love her. Can't really say enough about her. I think the fact that she was able to, just everything she's done, people know everything. Or they should do. If you don't, you should definitely go out there and check Chewing Gum, I May Destroy You, Black Earth Rising. She's fantastic.
I've got a friend, Nelson, as well. He's a BAFTA winner, and like just seeing how he grew under his wing and winning an award for something that was so meaningful. It's good seeing people in those positions. It's the hard part is seeing people that aren't maybe as Steve McQueen's up there winning those types of awards,
Because of her, I just have this drive that I don't think I would have had if she wasn't the one that was always telling me it's possible, it's always possible. And also Diane Abbott, I feel like she's just really, I think she's amazing, and just for what politics in the UK is now, I think she's definitely needed.
I would say Steve McQueen, Simon Frederick, Tolly T. There's a lot of Black Britons that inspire me by just Candice Braithwaite, just by daring to be their authentic self in an environment that hasn't, I don't think, been that welcoming to us. And I think this is a long way for us to go with that.
I feel like the YouTube entertainment scene is really taken off, and I feel like people like Philly and Chunks, they've got young Philly and Chunks, sorry, they've got a lot of they kind of paved the way for up and coming Black presenters.
So obviously, in terms of Black talent, I'm gonna push my presenter, Young's Teflon, because he's up and coming. He's a rapper. He's been doing his thing. He's got credibility, and he's got a catalogue behind him. So I'll always champion for him, number one.
I watched this film in LFF Flair. I think it was this year or last year, I can't remember. Time is a social construct. But it's a film called Losing Joy, and it's directed by Juliana Kasuma, I believe. Oh God, please. And it's also written by Nana Duncan, who is an amazing writer, and the film was beautifully shot. And it's, yeah, I think films like that should have more of a place to be shown to other people worldwide. So yeah, Juliana Kasuma and Nana Duncan.
One person to look out for is a comedian called Cara Gray, DOP called Ricardo Campbell, shooting, some of my shooting guys, you know what I mean? We all dabble in, as well as TV, as well as YouTube, and we're all kind of creatives, and I feel like the next generation coming up is quite a strong one.
Behind the camera, I've got a few people who I know are just super talented, who are young, Black, up-and-coming filmmakers. Number one, Richard Medjay. Number two, Jason Ferguson. Number three, Nelson Adioson. Number four, Ryan Samuda. These are all kind of names that we should be kind of looking out for. But the person who got me into filming, Lawrence Coke, he's like someone who, he's not in the TV industry, but he's like a massive inspiration for me. So like, my goal is to get him into the industry, like by hook or by crook.
In the scripting world, there's a writer-director by the name of Stephen Inaraytan, who I believe is amazing and really up-and-coming talent. I think that's the one that everybody should be looking out for. And of course, all the other fresh cuts, producer-directors.
Black talent to look out for. I think just listen. I think when people bring stories, I think commissioners, development producers, researchers, runners, even people that are in touch with regions that are maybe from, like, I'm from the East Midlands, for example. I don't think that a lot of stories that come from there are necessarily told. I definitely think being from the Caribbean and also being from the East Midlands is a whole other thing as well that I don't really see depicted on screen. Everything seems quite London-centric, which can be frustrating at times. But I think when people approach you that maybe don't necessarily look like industry people or have their CV marked up the way that industry standards or have the enough credit, just listen, because there might be a perspective that you've never heard before. TV should be about real people.
I May Destroy You. I May Destroy You was game-changing. It was revealing of the issues that, everyday people go through, especially, Black women. And I think it kind of showed, apart from, the heaviness that was in it, it kind of showed just normal life, and I think that's something that we should document a bit more, like just normality, and just living. So yeah, I May Destroy You was top tier for me. Films
like Attack the Block. For me, that's a highlight in my memory of a time that I really thought, oh wow, they made a show with young Black boys that are growing up in the States of London, and I thought that it wasn't the conventional, gangs, violence and things like that, which is quite conventional these days. It was more of it was different. It was about aliens and things like that. So I enjoyed it. I can't lie, I really enjoyed it. And John Boyega, he's really paved the way for Black actors as well.
I think what Channel 4 did with Black to Front, that program that has completely slipped my mind now, but it was really the high life, very much capturing, like, I think just Black excellence. And I think it was really refreshing. It was something that wasn't about anything low vibrational and really about what that should look like now. There's definitely a Black middle class in this country that is growing stronger, and rather than also having to feel like we need to go to America to make things happen, we can do it right here. So I would say, yeah, the high life on Channel 4, that was something that I would love to see more of, for sure.
when I think of black shows, I don't think of the UK. I think of the US. I think of things like Blackish. I think of things that aren't from here. I don't know if that's because things here aren't given the space or what, but yeah, I don't think of UK television when I think of the black experience.
Recently, I feel like an authentic series that I've seen is The Rap Game. That's probably a most recent one that I've really enjoyed, and I feel like they're really trying to capture what it's like with rap in London and the whole music scene.
I don't think there's any one particular project, whether it be film or any type of genre, that really encapsulates the black experience. I think the black experience isn't a monolith, so I don't think there's any one that really typifies it. I think there are lots of different that is true, depending on how you relate to the experience.